Alright, y'all, you've probably seen a bunch of jump shot videos in the past. Maybe you tried them bitches out, they worked, they didn't work, and you're like, man, I wish I'm looking for my release. This video, I'm gonna be showing y'all the way that I use the jump shot creator to craft the most beautiful jump shots for the way that I like to play NBA 2K17. Let's go. Now, I want to preface this video by saying I'm gonna try and keep pushing this, guys. Oh, this is, by the way, my old sharpshooter. For some reason, my new sharpshooter, the animations aren't showing in the jump shot creator, so I can't see what the fuck the base looks like. So I went on my OG sharpshooter. For those who've been around for months, welcome back to OG sharpshooter, the 91 overall. Man, I fucking miss this player. But I'm here to say, if you have an overall, a 3-point open shot 3 of over 55, if you have a 60, 65, 73, 94, you can shoot consistent from the 3-point line. The benefit sharpshooters have now is the 1, limitless range, but 2, you have more room for error because you have a 94. So if you have a 60, 55, you have to be pinpoint. This video is for you. Let's head down to the jump shot creator. I'm gonna be talking a lot this video. Pick and choose the ones that are relevant to you. I'm gonna be going through the process of how I create jump shots, and I'm gonna be talking through the tips, what's going on in my fucking mind as I create these gems, alright? First thing you gotta know is not every jump shot I create is fucking phenomenal. So I usually, when I'm creating jump shots, create like 3 or 4 over the span of 30 minutes, and then I spend like a few hours trying those ones out. This one's trash, this one's alright, I'm gonna test it a little bit later. This one's trash. So there's some I just discard, and there's others I'll try again later, and if it's a really good one, I fucking know about it. You know, 3-4 games in, I'm like, wow, I created a beautiful jump shot. So I recommend you do the same, but let's get started. When it comes to releases and bases, I'm gonna give you guys a short list of the favorite ones I like to use if you don't wanna go hunting through all these fucking pages. Before we get anything started, first things first, go to your blending and release types page and push everything to the left side 100%. Once you do that, go down to your release, and this is when you're choosing your base. You have to go down to your release, make it Gallinari, just for the sake of, I go to my release 2 and make it Gallinari. Your release is gonna affect the way your base looks, and Gallinari has, it's such a beautiful release. And that's for a lot of reasons. I find it has the least amount of impact on the animation, so you can get, when I'm searching for Bargnani, what the fuck, the animation, see, you see how he's just standing there right now? This is driving me crazy. I'll be back in a second. All right, animations are back. That's weird. Why does 2K do that? I don't know. But as I said, put release 1, release 2 as Gallinari. That should always be the first thing you do when you're trying to find a base. It's a pretty neutral release. It doesn't impact the way that the base looks, not nearly as much as other ones. So when I'm looking at LaMarcus Aldridge bases, you get a clearer sense of what the base actually looks like without fucking Vince Carter's release affecting it. Which, by the way, is actually a pretty good release. It's pretty similar to Gallinari, but you know what I mean. Alright, so I'm gonna go through the short list. I'm gonna start naming names. If for whatever reason you like what I said, then jot it down, because these are the most phenomenal bases in the game. Ryan Anderson has a good one. Carmelo Anthony has a good one. LaMarcus Aldridge does as well. Kevin Durant. Gallinari has the most impressive, one of the most impressive ones in my opinion. I absolutely love James Harden's. Rudy Gay, that's a fan favorite right there. Tony Parker, it's an underground one, but this shit is fucking phenomenal. I don't see anyone talking about Tony Parker. Kemba Walker has a really good one. Klay Thompson has an incredibly impressive one. It's really worth checking out. And then high school one is probably the most popular in the community. It's if you need one and you don't know which one, high school one is always going to be the answer. And then of course my favorite, Jump Shot 49. I hope you wrote that shit down or just rewind, because those are the best bet. And I've went through a fuck ton. I've looked through about 50% of the numbered releases and almost all of the named releases. Except like, of course, Ronnie 2K. It looks like fucking trash. No one's gonna actually use that. So when it comes to ones like these, some of them I skip, some of them I try. Like I tried the Denver 11s one. It was garbage. And I don't see nobody ever talking about this. An honorary mention to Darren Williams. I fuck with this one heavy, and I don't see nobody using it. Alright, I mentioned this in a previous video, but when you're choosing your release, I'm gonna try and find an example right now. Try and find a release where, first of all, it's quick. Preferably one where he jumps higher, although the second one isn't really a necessity. But also one, if you see him stepping into the shot on the animation, it's likely gonna take too long to pull up in game. When you're playing on the park, it's so fucking easy to close people out. Like, you need to be quick with it. You don't have time for this extra step. Listen, it's easy to make a step back shot. What the fuck was that release? Release 20. That looked like garbage. As I was saying, it's easy to do a step back pull up because it gets you right into your shot, and my animation didn't update. Fuck it. The more difficult shot to make is somebody passes you the ball and you're holding it for a second. For example, let's say your guy jumped or stole in the wrong direction. To pull up like this and time it correctly is more difficult than to be able to step back back and pull up, because step back and pull up, you're doing the shot in motion. And so when you have to take that extra step and you're standing still, trust me, I've went through those releases before. I got bad blood with those releases. I don't want to speak for all of them because I don't know, maybe there's one gem I never fucking found somewhere deep in the trenches, but I've went through a lot and it's always seemed to be a red flag for me. Step backs, easy, but those standing ones, those are the ones you should really, as I say, of course, fuck it, yo. We're going back to the jump shot creator. So when I'm looking for releases, I generally scroll through the list. Like, it might take like 10 minutes, just which one looks the cleanest. I'm looking at the feet a lot, who can get up the fastest. Monte Ellis is, I mean, he jumps pretty fucking high. The only bad thing about this release is it takes pretty long to get off. In fact, Monte Ellis is pretty similar to, where's Westbrook at? Westbrook's release, except Westbrook he gets even higher and it takes even longer. And for the most part, when you jump higher, it's more difficult to contest. You can take more contests on a good release. That being said, some of these releases are OD too long. You shouldn't be using them. So I'm generally just scrolling through like this. I'm not thinking too hard. I usually let it run back a few times. I look at the feet. I look at how fast it takes to get the release off. I try and envision a cue. When I shoot, there's a cue on when I should be releasing it. I try and see if there's an easy cue. For example, over here, he pulls it to his head, a little bit of latency, release. Always account for the latency when you're looking at your jump shot. This has a really easy cue. There are some jump shots where I don't fucking know when I should be releasing it. I feel like it's difficult to incorporate a cue. Without a cue, you can't shoot consistently. It's difficult. I love to look for 2 motion shots when I'm scrolling through these jump shots. A 1 motion, this is a 2 motion shot right here. Now, unfortunately, he fucking dips the ball, which is never gonna get off in time. You're gonna get swatted every single time. But it's a 2 motion shot. He stops before he pushes the ball back forwards and attempts the basket. Those are the easiest ones, in my opinions, to release. Kobe is fucking notorious for that. Kobe's one of the best 2 motion shooters in the NBA history. Where's Kobe's shit at, yo? Kobe's a very unique release. It's a clean one, but I don't know why. This one specifically, like, it's tough to be consistent with it. If the jump shot looks ugly, it's likely bad. Now, I've seen some ugly jump shots do well in the past, but it's a good, like, it's a good rule to go with. If it looks hideous, then you probably shouldn't roll with it. Again, the first thing I'm looking for when I'm looking at these jump shots is, do they take a step? This one does. Move on. This one takes a step too. Whoa, this one doesn't take a step, and so I move on to the next thing on my checklist, which is what's the cue? Does it have a good cue? In my opinion, this one not only goes up too slow, he doesn't jump high, and I don't see a clear cue for when I should be releasing the ball. There's a step on this one. In fact, it's a gigantic fucking step. This one has no step. He jumps pretty high. Is there a clear cue? Not really. And so if something generally checks out a lot of the, if it hits the checklist for the most part, but is missing one thing, I say, all right, jump shot 20. And then I'll write jump shot 20 down. I'll write down like 2 or 3 more bases, and then I'll leave those. And so those are the 2 or 3 bases I'm gonna test next. And so I usually go through that checklist. This one, his feet aren't moving, beautiful. He's not jumping too high, and it looks kind of weird, but you can tell there's a clear cue. And so I'll click that shit, I'll write it down, and I have a base saved that I can test out with a few other releases. Alright, because I gave you guys a short list of bases, let's just pretend that, oh my god, I found jump shot 49 again. Let's click that one. Let's say this is a bit. So let's say I wrote down 3 or 4 bases I'm trying to test out. This is the one, jump shot 49. Let's move on to the release. Now, keep in mind, again, keep the release and blending speed all the way on the left side. Alright, go back to release 1. This is where you start to really try and make the base work. Now, there's cases where you pair a good base with a garbage release and it just doesn't work out. So you want to take every base that you chose and try 3 or 4 releases that look fluid with it. Like this right here looks fucking hideous, alright? This looks like Dirk Nowitzki, but uglier. So if I'm gonna go for a release that over the head, I'm gonna go to Dirk Nowitzki. You see, I did jump shots so much, I just know where Dirk would be at. But you gotta start pairing jump shots now. So this is the point where I tell you guys the short list of my favorite jump shots. Here we go. Aldridge, fucking love that one. Carmelo Anthony has a popular one, although I don't like it. Kobe Bryant, I fuck with that one. Stephen Curry is one of my favorite in the game. Durant and Gallinari, fucking OG, they're beautiful. Rudy Gay, one of the most popular in the 2K community. James Harden is probably my favorite one of all of them. It's up there, it's up there. Kyle Korver is a popular one, but I don't fuck with it. And Release 15 is a popular numbered one, but when it comes to releases, I haven't tried, I've maybe tried like 20% of all these releases. Like, I haven't went deep in these ones for the most part because I'm pretty confident in the named releases. I didn't feel the need to start diving deep and wasting time with all the other ones. And so this one isn't so mechanical. Like the last one for the bases, I had a checklist of shit that I was looking at. This one, it all depends on the base you chose. Jump shot 49. Now, what I do is I already have a short list. So immediately the first thing I do is run through my short list. So what were some of the names I gave you? The Aldridges. What does Aldridge look like with this release? It looks like his issue's too high. The release takes too long. You know, stuff like that. It's small stuff at this point you start to pick out. Let's see what Melo looks like. Melo. Oh, that looks ugly. He's all over the place with that one. Now we're not doing that. All right, so now I already know this is my by the way, my go-to release. If I'm playing an anti-up game, 25,000, I'm using this release. When I played my game against Legend of Winning, reset rep challenge, the loser has to reset their rep. This is the release that I use. I put on jump shot 49, and I just happen to know already that Stephen Curry is a beautiful release with this base. But you generally just want to go through, and this one is more personal preference. I don't really know what to tell you, but if you want to shoot like Agent, you're gonna, though I gave you the short list and Stephen Curry was on it. I forgot to mention Vince Carter. He has a popular one, although I don't use it much. I know that it works because I've seen other people ball with it. All right, so Stephen Curry, but I know that for some reason this release, it just looks too fucking weird. I don't know what it is. It looks like it has potential. This is a potential release. And the thing is my player is right-handed now. My OG is left-handed, so maybe that's why it feels a little bit different. So what does Agent do? If you find a release that you think will fit, then this is where it starts to get complicated. For the most part, you guys know I only like to fuck with 2 different shots. One base and then 1 release. I don't like to separate release 1, release 2. I usually have them the same thing because it complicates things, and for the most part it doesn't find the best results in my opinion. And it can, but you'd have to invest a fuck ton of time to find what really worked. But I did do that for jump shot 49 because I realized that base was beautiful. And so what I did was I put Curry on release 2, and then I need something to kind of just stabilize. And I know Gallinari is a good stabilizer, so I'm gonna test it first. And when you get into 1 and 2 releases, you gotta start, at this point, you gotta start blending. I want there to be more Curry than Gallinari, and I want Curry to come at the end, so we'll try this. What does this look like? No, it feels like there's too much Curry in that bitch. Let's try 40% Curry. That looks clean as fuck. Hold on. No, we might need some. Let's go 65 Gallinari. Ooh, hold on, 70 Gallinari. That looks clean as fuck right now. Now this is a clean ass release. What do you do with clean ass releases, y'all? You go ahead and save that bitch. I saved that shit as clean because it's a clean ass fucking release. Let's try this bitch out now. Now, what I generally do with one base is I look for multiple releases, so you might want to do that, but since we're already on the my court, let's head over to the clean ass base. Where's it at? Fuck. There it is, bang. And then just to update your release, head into the attribute upgrades because for some reason 2K doesn't update your release unless you do this. Back all the way out, let this shit update. And listen, this is the part where I have to warn y'all that sometimes it takes practice to be nice with the jump shot. The base 49, the first few games didn't feel right to me, but I said I gotta give it a shot. It looked clean as fuck when I was trying it out in the jump shot creator, and I kept trying it, and now it's my favorite release in the entire game. So let's try some step back. Ooh, green, let's go. Man, it feels fucking weird playing with my right-handed player again. All my players are left-handed. Hold up. Green again. All right, some good signs already. Now, this is almost identical to the one I have on my left-handed player. It's a little bit different in terms of the blend. Oh, that was a bad release. I don't know, I low-key miss playing on right-handed player, boy. Green again, let's go. And so usually I won't be testing on the my court because on the my court, there's no latency, right? When you play online, there's the controller button delay and there's latency, and you have to account for all of that when you're going into your jump shot if you want to be precise. So I usually make the jump shots, test them out a couple times on the my court, and then I take the 3 or 4 jump shots that I saved, try them out on the park, and then I come back with results and then I delete the ones I didn't. That's what I do. So when I make these jump shot videos, it's because I went through this exact process over and over again, deleted many releases, cut some off, tried them again later. Is this good now? Let me try it again. Maybe it just takes practice. Maybe it takes muscle memory. I thought I was playing on, I had to check because I was making so much greens. I'm playing on All-Star making all these greens. That's fucking crazy. Oh my god, this sharpshooter, it doesn't even have hot spots all around. It has no, wow. Guys, I might have to fuck with my right-handed player again. High key, I miss him, yo. OG sharpshooter. The only thing about the fucking OG sharpshooter is when you go into the upgrades, is I didn't upgrade my post scoring whatsoever. And so by the time I max out my mid-range, I'll likely be 93 overall, and I won't have enough post scoring to do my post cheese. Man, anyway, I might have to make a return. And the offensive consistency is nil with this player. I don't have any badge. Well, I have some, but I don't have nearly as many badges with this player. Yo, let me know in the comments. Y'all trying to see a return of the OG right-handed sharpshooter, man. He has minimum wingspan too. That's an L. That's an L. Hold up, that's an L. Pause. That was as much an L as that fucking shot I just break. Alright, so this is probably the last part, is when I'm in the my court, I'm just hunting for a cue. So I'm like, at what point should I be releasing the ball? Now, because I use base 49, I already know it's more of a rhythm release for me. When I hit the top, I'm looking at my body. I'm not looking at my arms, my hands, my feet, my head. I'm looking at my body. When my body reaches the top and it looks like it's about to decline, that's when I let go of the ball, and it's always green for me. So it requires a little bit of focus until you can develop some muscle memory, and then another green. Bang. I don't know what it is. Release. Yo, base 49 legitimately right now feels better on my right-handed player than on my left-handed player. I don't know what's happening right now, guys. Oh my god. What the fuck is happening right now? So of course all this stuff is, you know, if you're a taller player, shorter player, taller wingspan, shorter wingspan, whatever the case is the releases are gonna feel different between your characters. So depending on what you have, you're gonna need to adjust. But that's it, man. This is the process of me creating jump shots. I had to explain it, which is why it took maybe as long, but for the most part, I'm in and out in like 20 minutes. I created 3 or 4 jump shots, and I'm out there just hunting. You know, I'm trying to find cues, trying to see if it's a beautiful release, evaluating that bitch, and then I'm out there dominating. And so that's when I tell you I have a catalog of releases, it's because I've done this so many times that I have good releases, I have great releases, and then I have the ones I just dominate with. And for me, it's not a release unless you can pull from half court on the park. So the only way you can really test limitless range is through park, because on the pro-am and on the my court, for some reason, the shot meter is bugging, you know? It doesn't even account for limitless range. Anyway, that is the process that I go through. If you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, drop a fucking like. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'm gonna catch you on the next fucking video. I'm out. Peace.